All right, Jamie.
Put a little ham.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic.
All right, I was told to keep it. Yeah, I was told to keep it short. So
let's get to it.
So you announced your new album on Jimmy Kimmel last night. Yeah. Why Jimmy Kimmel? Like,
that's the homie though.
Okay,
it's the homie. So it's like some people in the business, you actually get a chance to have like a. It's great because here's the thing: being a comedian and a singer, there's going to be interviews that you do because it's going to help the music, and there's going to be interviews that you can't do because it's going to get in the way of someone taking the music seriously. Right. I could go to Jimmy Kimmel and say, yo, let me be funny, but also let me get the music off. And that's one of the shows where you're live, you got a real audience, real band, you outside, you get a chance to do that. And so I thought that was a perfect place because it's just got that energy, you know what I mean?
Okay, so you were able to kill two birds with one stone, or a few birds maybe. So tell me about the album.
The album is called Hollywood.
And what's the concept behind that?
Well, Hollywood, the song actually is about something that I went through, like with a girl. I'm like, man, I'm thinking she with me, and I'm thinking she down. Come to find out it was a Hollywood move. She trying to go up the rung. I get it. I understand.
How do you separate that in Hollywood?
It's just what it is, though. But you have to always understand it's about Hollywood. Always leave yourself a parachute. Because sometimes you don't know if this person is into you or it's just the scene, and how long is that scene going to last. So that's what that song is about. And then Socialite talks about a girl, you know, who's just got her own thing, you know, which is what, you know, which I run into, which is really attractive. I'm supposed to be in love by now, looking at all of that, and like, man, I'm supposed to be at a different place. So even with my daughter, like, yo, Dad, when you going? What's up? What's up?
So are you looking? Or is it Hollywood getting in the way of you actually?
I mean, you know what? Hollywood can get in the way because that's what you see. It's right next to you. So, so sometimes it gets a little exhausting. And then if you get outside of Hollywood, sometimes it's too big for the situation.
It's an interesting circle to be.
Very, very interesting. But I always say this though: would the girl be with me if I wasn't who I was? And that's a question that we don't like to ask a lot.
What else have you learned from Hollywood, or what else has it taught you?
You gotta use it as a place of residence, but not your home.
I like that.
Yeah, it's your residence. I ain't got no pictures on my wall. Like, I ain't got, you know how people, they set up and they go, oh, this, I don't do that. I put a couple of pictures here and there.
It's temporary.
And I leave 1 or 2 rooms unfurnished.
Why is that?
I don't ever want it to feel like I'm home.
Where's home? Where's home?
Home is Texas. I like the South. You know what I'm saying? I dig LA for what it does, but I've never been in LA. I've been sort of like out, I was on the outskirts. New York, I dig, but it's just a little too, I mean, you know, y'all fast paced.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out. I feel you on that one.
It's fast paced. It's a lot of people, man.
It's a lot.
Man, there's people everywhere all the time, because I had to live here for 2 years. I looked out my door, I thought they were having a march.
Never stopped. They probably were.
I said, what is it? No, it was just people just on their way to work. What they marching for? I was like, they go. I was honky horn. You know what I'm saying? They just on their way to, and I saying the same people the next day. I said, they ain't marching. They ain't going to work.
Tell me about working with Chris Brown, because you mentioned that he's also on the album.
Chris Brown is I've known him for 15 years. Well, I've known him since he was 15. And it's interesting to see his arc, his trajectory, the life he's lived in just a few years. Yeah. But the fact that I know him, the fact that he comes to the house, and he, you know, is able to chill out.
Because you guys like hang out and stuff?
Yeah, he comes to my house, and it's not about just the hangout. It's about me keeping him safe and letting him do what he, you know, letting him have his fun, but just sort of wrapping him like, yo, you know, he's got so much to deal with. When I see him and Tiger or August, all these guys that are having to deal with today's world, like the social media,
it's so different, right?
Yeah, it's different. If it had been around when I was around, I don't think I would have made it, you know, because there's so much to put on somebody. So with that being said, his musical capabilities and doing Jimmy Kimmel and watching him walk in with his daughter, I said, there you go. Yeah, that's you now. And he was like, man, I know. And he was holding on to it like, man, and it's like he found something, you know. I said, hey man, God puts things like that to be like, okay, respect it now. Respect the talent that I gave you, the opportunity to give you something now that, okay, now here's something that can ground you a little bit. So it was great. And then to have the song You Changed Me, which wasn't about that situation, but it's just sort of interesting.
It just fit together nice. That's very cool. Any advice did you give him?
I give Chris advice all the time.
Okay,
yeah, but I give him the advice that I give, not everybody, I just tell all those young guys, I say, man, at the end of the day, just protect your art. The reason that you're out here,
right,
so you can sing, so you can put smiles on people's faces. And it's hard, because hip hop and right now it's rock and roll. You remember back in rock and roll, how could you tell the Doors, hey, put the coke down? You can't do that. Like,
that's just what it is.
Yeah. So there's I'll tell you what it is. Be what you're gonna be, but hopefully somewhere it sticks.
So when is the album dropping?
May 18th, the album drops.
Is it done? Like, where are you?
The album is done. I've been up all night. We finished it this morning.
Very nice.
And it's one of those, like I said, it's one of those fourth quarter, extra innings, overtime.
Nice.
You get in, and I think that's when you do your best work, when you're on that clock.
Okay, so you kind of came into the game as a stand-up comedian, and then you did some acting. You had a TV show, and some movies fell in between there. Yeah. But throughout all of it, there was like music.
Always music. Because what I tell, like, you could do a movie and it may be hot as you're doing it, and then by the time it comes out, nobody likes it. You could do a television show. You could do jokes.
Yeah.
But when you sing, man, and everybody's singing your song, and you're able to touch somebody in a different way, of different country, different whatever, it's nothing like that. Yeah. When you go see your favorite music artist or whatever like that, my favorite music artist was Prince. And I took my daughter to see him when he was in Madison Square Garden. I said, look at this. She was like,
how
Dad.
old is your daughter now?
She's 21 now.
Okay.
But at the time, she had to be 18, I think. When was Prince here last? 3 years, maybe? She was 18. She's like, Dad, I don't really know his music. I said, watch this. Mm-hmm. She was like, oh my God. I said, yeah, it's nothing like music. That's
what we missing out on these days.
Yeah, man. Ain't nothing like it,
Do you see yourself doing any more like movies that involve music? Like you won the Academy Award for Ray.
I mean, I don't know if I'll do any more movies right now, but unless it's the right thing. But definitely some more movies. But just like to be able to be in that music space, and I won't wait as long this time. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do an album, and I'm working on the second album right now to just keep dropping.
Okay, everybody's standing up, so I guess
they standing up like it's the OK Corral. I know. They standing up.
Do you have any plans for 420? What's your philosophy on marijuana?
420?
Yes, that's today.
What do I have? Yeah. There's two sides. There's a side of me that's like, I'm, the artist, man, do what you want to do. But there's also sides of that you have to factor in when and it's crazy how I got on the subject, but I'm working with this military dude, and we were working on some stuff because we're developing this show called Amber Alert. But as we were talking, we started talking about that. Mm-hmm. He said, as a law enforcement agent, it just makes my job harder. I said, why? He says, because in Denver, the places that are actually legal to sell marijuana, mm-hmm. there's now an influx of cocaine and heroin being sold behind it.
Yeah.
He said, and then the crime rate of petty crime went up, because if a kid who's 17, 18 can go buy marijuana, he just breaks into that car, grabs that purse, gets a couple of dollars in there. So he says it's gonna have to be a nifty balance,
right? But it's gonna take time, too.
Because we are a society that can do it all, but we're also business to society, because there are some things that we do limit. And sort of, and I think eventually we'll be talking about this like it's nothing. We'll be talking about something else. We'll be talking about. So what do you think about the rocket? What do you think about the rocket dust? Do you think we should do rocket dust? Should they legalize rocket dust? And as we're floating.
Are you smoking weed today, though?
Huh?
Are you smoking tonight?
I'll tell you that.
All right, I just thought I'd find out.
But I got these black lips. Anyway, and we out.